Hey, hello everybody. My name is Lorian, and in today's video I'll be taking you through the journey of creating your tractor in the correct proportions, or at least for what's my style. I'll put it that way. So first of all, let me just lock this layer, and here we go. Yep. So when I create a tractor, first of all, I think, is it gonna be a girl? Is it gonna be a guy? And second, where is it gonna be looking at? So first of all, I'm going to say it's a girl, is gonna be looking at us, and is gonna be around 15, 15 years old. Okay, so just with that in mind, I'll create a new layer, and here we go. Let me see. Okay, so I'll begin with the circle for the head. Um, I'll make a bit. Okay, I'm working on the jaw now, and I'm doing sort of an anime style. Okay, that's what I usually go for. Now, of course, you can go for something a little bit more realistic by drawing the same shape and then give give her more of a square chin, but still quite pointy. Okay, compared to it works for guys. So, keeping that in mind, I'll squish just a little bit. I just like that, like that. Because I don't know, my circle wasn't perfect, so that's why I had to squish it. So here we go. So without deleting the full line, I will draw the ear. And I know the ear goes here because this line is what the eyes are gonna be. And the nose is always between the chin and the eyes. That's where the nose is. So I know I know that the ear begins where the, like, oh my gosh. It's like if we look at it from a side view, which would be something like this. And here the eye, the forehead, and then the head. I noticed that the ears between the eyes and the nose, that's where it goes, and it's usually where the jaw ends. Well, it's always where the jaw ends, but I mean, in most tractors, even stylized ones. So yeah, I'll keep that in mind. And yeah, so I had a little problem um, to draw faces some time ago, and I'll show you why later. But I have kind of my way of doing it. Okay, so first of all, she's looking at us. Where is her body pointing at? For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be pointing her body to that side. A bit of a 3/4 view, so something like this, okay? So her chest will go out, then like this. I'll have her back like that, and then it goes back in again. The way I'm thinking of this is like a box, literally just going like this, like a box bending, okay? So we imagine this being 3D, just bending like this. Okay, that's where the neck goes. And I like to think of my tractors as dolls, and the reason is because it allows me to think of the main main uh, main angles, really, the parts where the body bends. So like here and there, the elbow, and so forth. So how big is this? How big is her torso? It's gonna be about, well, first let me do the neck. I can see already that the body is way too high. I realized that because there's no space for neck. So that kinda tells everything. It's a giveaway. So the first part of the neck, the back part of the neck is straight because there's the spine. So it goes like that, then it curves. Does it? Oh no. The spine goes like, first it goes straight to hold the head, then it goes a little bit out, and then goes back in. That's and that curve there is my favorite curve in a woman, really, because I don't know, it's sexy. The thing makes her look very delicate. So I'll show you how to work it out. I change color. Okay. So here we go. I won't make it too rough like to do it in some animes. So let me work this out. Okay. So I'm thinking of this like a swimming suit now, and I'll do this part here. I'll do small shoulders. In a woman, the shoulders go kind of like this, look, sort of like that. Whereas on a man, they would be more like a muscle comes from here, another comes from there, and then the shoulders are held up. At least that's what happens to me. So you can still give her like a little bit of muscle there, but that's pretty much it. What I usually go for is half of the width of the head will determine how thick the neck is, and I just apply that in here. If I see it doesn't look too right, I'll just change it a little bit, but that's pretty much how big the neck is. And I'm still thinking of her as a doll, so excuse me. So I'm assembling her really. I'm not. I don't think of drawing as this is drawing. Even my animation teacher was like, "Really? Why'd you draw her like that?" I'm assembling her. So yeah, he says it's fine as long as it's proportionate and it looks right. It's fine. So I'm going to create one more layer here, and the reason is because since it's in a bit of an angle, I want to make sure that everything is in the same angle. So let's see, this line of the shoulder goes all the way up to here, and this line goes all the way up to here. So this line has to go all the way up to there, and this line will go all the way up to here. So keeping that in mind, I will lower the opacity of this, like that, up to 50, something like 44 will be fine. So I'll just put this at the bottom, lock it, I don't need it. What is this? Okay, this is the actual sketch, let me rename it. Sketch. Let's save that. And going back to the sketch, I'm going to okay. So it does one head, two heads, three heads. So the torso is big, two heads, and I have the hands, which should reach what I call the pocket spot, which really is where your pockets would be. That's not so complicated, is it? So she's going to be waving hello, so I get to show both arms. In this same line, I'm going to draw the elbow like that. Even if you're not showing one part of the body, it's very important that you still draw it, and the reason is because, like right here, I realize it's a bit too low, so I just bring it up a little. And like if you're doing stuff overlapping and you're just beginning, it's important for you to show it. You can, when you do the refined line, it's fine, you can get rid of it, but for a starter, it's important that you show it. So I'm doing, I don't know, it's sort of like a fist now. And I'm thinking, I'm just thinking of her in a cool pose, really. I don't want her waving. Waving is too easy. So I check on myself, and I think this is a bit lower. I'm not applying the 3D sensation enough. So I'm going to bring this whole arm a little bit lower, like about here. Just because I realize on myself that the elbow is actually lower than this line. So I'll put her in a box, so I get to apply this 3D sensation, this 3D feeling. And yeah, this is just a sketch, and believe it or not, I actually do it for all my drawings. Even though I got used to Like when I'm joining the bus, and I'm just catching about, then fine. I don't really care what people think. But if I'm going to upload this in some website or something to show it later, like I did for this one, then I'll do all the workout at the bottom just so people can't say anything about my proportions and stuff. It actually bothers me to be wrong on proportions. So since I don't like to get them wrong, I always do the construction lines just to make sure they're right. And the way I'm going to do this now, I'm trying, like I said, I'm thinking of this as a swimming suit. She doesn't necessarily have to be in one, but uh, after, like, you see that one piece, it goes like that, goes in there like this, and then goes all around the butt and leaves the legs uncovered, I'd say, showing. And the way the legs are, at least the muscles that are covering the femur, the back part, it shows a bit of a muscle here. It goes back in into the knee, which would be here. Whereas the top bit, it has a bit of a muscle at the beginning, but then it goes straight at the top. And yeah, um, some people have it with a curve, some people have it straight. Um, you can have it both ways. It's up to you. So I'll give it a bit of a curve there, but just a little bit. Um, and then the perfect butt, really, some people think is, well, it's actually optional. But to be honest, the way the muscle is, it grabs like this. And if you work out, it goes into something more like that. And then bigger. So um, that's what I'm doing for her. I'm doing that kind of shape here. And let me delete that again. I'm wasting so much time, but it's important that I go over this stuff. So since I moved this arm lower, I'll move this one farther, just because. Okay, yeah, I have to move it a little bit lower and then a little bit farther because in this case the arm is lifted a little bit. So that's the way it is. Um, where the arm bends, it doesn't just bend like that. There's a bit of a gap there. That's where the veins show usually. So, but on the other side it's pointy. That's why we get the elbow. Leave some space for the wrist. Don't just go from arm to hand like you see in The Simpsons. It just goes like to something like that, arm, and there's not wrist in the middle. Um, I just think of it as a cylinder stopping it. Like I said, I think of them as a doll, as dolls, and that really simplifies my work. So it's at this point it's nearly done. The pose is pretty easy. Only one leg is showing. I get this part here. So regarding this part, I think of this as a cylinder as well, pretty much like that. And what I'll be doing here is I'll do a half half of that cylinder. So I'll just get that, and really turn it around into whatever pose I need for my tractor to take. So I'll do that. I'll do the bottom part of the leg, which is pretty much as long as this one, but a little bit shorter because it doesn't have the top bit. Because its top bit should be the knee, so I'm not gonna count it. And she has to be in some sort of balance. So no matter what pose you do, like even if you make someone running or whatever, there has to be a sort of line that falls ready in vertical, so that this person can be in some sort of balance. Um, because if most of your body, well, you can be out of this line. Just remember, if you got if you have too much weight on one side, you're likely to fall on it, that side. So if this tractor had the back like this, it's fine. He has half of his weight on this side and half of his weight on this side. But if this center line was here, then he'd have way too much weight on that side, on the right side. So yeah, for this tractor, I can put it on this one. I'll make a center line falling right here to indicate that her entire body is going through that line. If you think about it, like from the top of her head, her spine goes for there. Even here, where it bends, okay, you'd be going like this and then back out, and then I'm going to fix her leg a little bit. I don't like the pose it's on right now. I'm going to flip it more on this side. I was just trying to fit it in the image, but it doesn't look right to me. So I'll bring this whole construction thing upwards a little bit. The whole thing, I said. Thank you. Okay. There should. Okay. So after doing that, I'm going to find the face. Okay. So I'll add one more layer for the face, and the way I work out the face is I draw glasses. No, don't worry, your character doesn't have to have glasses, it's just the way I work it out, so I know where to place the eyes. These very high-techy glasses. And if they look fine, they look cool, then I know they're in the right position. Also, they'll be within this line here that we drew before. And what I do next, using this line as reference, I'll be drawing the eyes, the top of the eyes. It's important that you draw both eyes at the same time. This will get rid of the complication of the eyes looking too different. There will still be a minimal difference between the two, but at least it won't be too big, too much of a deal. So for this drawing, I'll do one here. They're very simplified, but they should do the job. Stretch this one a bit. Thinner at the bottom and thicker at the top, especially in anime. And if it's a girl, it has like some eyelashes pointing up. If you want to make her cute, you can increase the size of the light in her eyes and also the pupils. So somewhere like that. The more space they take in the eye, the black part of the eye takes inside the eye, the cuter she will be. So more, more, and that should kinda do it. She looks like a bit of an alien now. I'll go back. I messed up a little. I liked my style like that. And I'll reduce the opacity of the sketch. This layer, I'll get rid of the glasses. And then I'll step into doing the mouth and the eyebrows. So I'll do, yeah, no, there's a little bit of difference here. This eye should be bigger. It weirds me out, but everything looks better with eyebrows. There, that's a bit better. So, thin eyebrows. What I've realized in my previous drawing is that the eyebrows just fall a little bit ahead of the eye, okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind. I'll give her a small nose, maybe even smaller. No, that's too small. I won't give her an anime nose. She's a bit sad. How about we make her smile? Yeah. Since she's smiling, I'm going to bring her eyebrows a little bit higher. And this eye is probably weirding me out because it's turned out on its left, and the distance to the other eye is too great. You know when an eye is too far away from another? Because there's basically an eye of distance between one and the other. You can divide the face into three parts. Also, I'm keeping in mind that this is one plane and this is another. Okay, so I'm just keeping that in mind when I'm drawing her. So I'm trying not to step over that line. And to make her cute, I bring the face into a more chibi and less adult, so I'll just shrink it, okay? And you'll see me doing that in a bit. It's like I make the head smaller and then I give her bigger cheeks. The space between the eyes and the borders of the face are it's pretty small. It's about very small. Small chin as well. And then I guess that's pretty much it. But this is too much of a little girl. Okay, let me try to fix those eyes, okay? So they look more adult. And I guess that does it a little bit better. I'll change the eyebrows a little bit. I'm giving her a bit of a cute expression. Just giving it a shot. That's pretty much it. And then the neck a little bit thinner. I do then the collarbone, and I'll leave a line here for. Oh, come on, don't zoom in. I'll leave a line here for the end of the forehead, which is a little bit higher than the eyebrows, of course. And from there, I'll start building the hair afterwards. So let me just go over the body again, making sure everything is fine. I'll do this muscle comes here all around the. It goes on a curve like that. So if it meets the bone and then starts turning down. And then you have the muscle coming from here, the back muscle which bends into the stomach, and then the curve which will become the butt afterwards. Size of the breast, that's optional. I'll just guide myself over my reference from before. And then we have the shoulders. A very thin neck. Yeah, I'm going into making a thinner and thinner neck. But that's just personal taste. I'll give her a bit of a bigger belly here. And then doing the leg again. The butt. And the knee. Hold on a sec.